Okay, we've made it to the end, day 20. So email marketing we have touched on before when we set up the email opt-in right at the start, remember that? And we used MailChimp for that one. I want to just take that one final step because this wraps things up nicely. It's something I'm sure you will want to do. Just so we can experience a different environment, I'm going to use ActiveCampaign in this one. And what we're going to do is set up an ActiveCampaign account with an email list. We're going to pop on an email opt-in form to connect to that list, but then we're going to automate that list so that when they join the list, a welcome email then goes out. So you could use this for many things. One, obviously opting into something like a lead magnet to email them the lead magnet, either the lead magnet itself or a URL back into your funnel, which I'd recommend. So we're pulling people back into your funnel via the web and via email. You could do it so when they buy something, it sends out an email with a link to download or what next, or again back into the funnel. Lots and lots of different reasons why you'd want an email list and to automate, in this instance, a initial welcome email when they join that list and they get an email sent out. Loads of scenarios where that will happen. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to slightly differ from the page on the screen, which just basically goes through and talks about ActiveCampaign setting up from scratch. Follow that through, create your account, create your list, create an email, send an email to that list as per the page. But for now, I just want to focus on this video about the next step, about setting up a list and the automation for it, and adding an email opt-in to a T4S page. So let's do that first of all. We'll do that and then we'll test it at the end. Put my specs on so I can see what I'm doing, and let's go to a page. So I'm going to choose I'm going to go back to our test funnel, right back from the start, and I'm going to create a new blank page that I can use for testing, and I'm going to drag it up to the top, and I'm going to stick it in there, and this is going to be my new page, brand new page, and I'm going to edit it. And on this page, all I'm going to do is, for the sake of speed, put in a please opt in. Thank you. Award winning. Right, there we go. Something like that. Right, and now we stick in our opt-in form. This is our opt-in form. And what I'm going to do first is link to our email service. So here I will choose ActiveCampaign, and it's asking me for two things with ActiveCampaign, slightly different to MailChimp, an API URL and an API key. So I flip across to my ActiveCampaign, which is here. This is just sort of a dummy test account I'm using, and I go to settings down the bottom left hand corner, and on settings under developer there we get an API URL, so I can copy and paste in there, and I get an API key which I can copy and paste. Obviously don't show people this, keep them secret. Right, do that, click on next. Now what it's going to do now is look for the list that I've got. Now I've got a master contact list which you get with ActiveCampaign, and T4S Bootcamp, which is one I've been playing around with. I'm going to cancel that. No, I'm just going to choose one for now. I'll just choose that and click select, because I'm going to create a new list and then I'm going to link it to that. So that's there, that's fine. Save the page and go back to ActiveCampaign. Right, let's go to our lists. Boom, down there. Let's create a brand new list. So I'm going to add a list. I'm going to call it Simon's test list. URL, I'll put in Bootcamp one, and signed up to test this stuff. You will obviously do something more appropriate. Click on add. Right, that's it. We've now got a list with 0 people on it. Okay, so it exists. So now that list exists, I'll pop back to T4S. And you can see there's no right or wrong order to do this. I could have done all that and then added the opt-in form. Perfectly normal. I'm going to link to my email service again. Details are there. That's fine. And now we have Simon's test list. Boom. Select. Boom, all opt-in forms on this page are now linked to Simon's test list. So let me just give a bit of contrast in all of this so we can see what we're doing. Sound effects are optional. And just so I can just reinforce what we can do. Let's have a shadow. Right, there we go. And the button will be opt-in. Okay, and then I'll edit my form. And where do I go next? I'll just do a message. That could be the next page or whatever you want to do. I'll just do a little pop-up message and save. Boom. Right, so my opt-in form is now ready. So easy, loving it. And preview. Wonderful. Okay, so first thing we'll do is now go ahead and test that. Somebody can go in there. Okay, so we put in Simon. I'll do my show example. Show out example.com. Maybe a pop-up message. Thank you. You are subscribed. Back onto here. Let's have a look in my list. And there we are. So that's easy peasy. We did that before. Hopefully you did it when we did the first couple of days and when we reviewed all the page elements. You probably played around with this. That's easy. Done in however long that took. Right, so what I want to do now is set this up to put a automatic message so that when they join this email list, whether it's through an opt-in form or a buy button, or when they enter a page, remember we can do that, so when they enter a page, and I'll show you that before we go, because I'll show you that now, talk about it now. If you've got a 5-page funnel and they opt in on here, they're very cold. If they get to this point and they've maybe done a tripwire offer or a one-time offer, they're warmer. You want to change the emails that are going out to them, so you'd switch them from this list, to this page's list. Then they buy that and they go here, they're even hotter now, they're good traffic. You want to take them off this email list and put them on this list and move people from list to list to list. You can do that, and I will show it to you now actually. If you're in a page, under page here, page entry email lists, here you can do what you want here. So we could, for example, take them off one email list and put them on another, effectively moving them from one list to the next list as they go through your funnel. So you're changing the message. So I like that. I just wanted to mention that. Right, back on schedule. What we're going to do is set up an automation with an active campaign so that when someone joins this email list, they get a lovely email come out saying, hey, thank you very much, wonderful, here's a link, blah, 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 and here's a link back to my funnel and all that kind of lovely stuff. So, back in active campaign. We want to go to automation, which I don't believe is on any of, there it is, automation. Okay, I haven't got any automations here at all, so I'm going to go up here, click on create an automation. I do like active campaign. I find it actually a nice application to use. Lots of things you can do. I would just go from scratch, learn from the bottom up. So let's go start from scratch, because they can get quite complicated. Okay, right, what's the trigger? What's the thing that's going to happen to start this automated task? Well, it's going to be, and you can see all of the different things you can do here, loads and loads of different things, but simply subscribes to a list. Select a list, Simon's test list, runs once, yes, that's fine, thank you. Segment the contact, no, don't worry about that, add start. Nice and simple. What are you going to do? So it's triggered, they've joined the list. What do you want to do? Well, I want to send an email. I don't have any emails to send because you create an email and then use it. So we'll go ahead and create an email. Name the email. Welcome to the test list. Create. And I'm going to just build one from scratch. You could go all the fancy templates if you want to, but I'm going to go for build from scratch. It's going to be text only because they convert best. Welcome to the test. And continue. Hi, welcome to the test. To continue your journey, please go to TPS online /bootcamp/ offer. Yeah, something like that. This being a plain text, it's going to be literally as simple as that. So I'm actually going to leave it as that. Thank you. So you can spend time playing with all of the templates and the rich text environment and make it fancy and all the rest of it. I'm just keeping it nice and simple. You can add an attachment. People are buying a PDF rather than having it downloaded in your funnel. I would do both, so they get it on email and they get it on the screen in front of them at the same time. Keep pushing people. Right, next. Okay, so what this is saying, I'm going to go through this slowly. Subject, welcome to the test from simon@trafficandsales.co.uk. Message name, welcome to the test list. Warning here, your list does not have a valid physical mailing address. Before you can send this campaign, you must update the physical mailing address for this list. Okay, what is that? Let's click on add address. This is asking me where I'm sending it from. This is all to do with anti-spam and all the rest of it, so I'm going to just put in my office address and click on add. Okay, because you must have that address on. It also decreases the chance of things going into spam if there's an address in the email. So, highly recommended. Active campaign gets you one on there. Options: open, read, tracking. Track when a contact opens or reads your email. Line tracking, reply tracking, Google Analytics. So things you can do when you're emailing an active campaign. Send a test. I'm sure you do that normally. Mine is so basic I'm not going to bother. Preview, spam check, passed. Nice little bonus. Finish. My award-winning email is ready. Select email to send. Well, I've now created one. I could there create a new email if I wanted, but no, save, thank you, job done. Right, we now have a lovely graphical representation. Start this automation when a contact subscribes to the list. Send an email to that, and you can see here you can do something else. You can now wait, for example, a specified period of time. Let's wait for 1 day, and then I'm going to send another email. And this is, and you create a new email and you do a follow-up and all the rest of it. I'll just pick the same one now. But then you could wait for 3 days and send another email, and you have a third email. Now you can see here that your email sequence is ready to rock and roll. You know, it's the sort of thing when someone joins T4S, they get an email periodically through the first 14 days of their trial. Not every day, but certain days it's triggered just to help people along. Have you found this? Did you know about tutorials? Did you know you could do the bootcamp? Did you know, and so on and so forth. So here I've set up an email sequence for when someone opts in to the sequence, and you can see why now. If they go ahead and buy something else, so they get to the thank you page of buying whatever it is, on that thank you page, I'd take them off this list and put them on the email sequence list that is relevant to them having bought that product. Because the last thing I want to do is send them emails from this sequence saying, don't forget you can get this, when they've already bought it, because that's just naff and probably annoying. Moving on to the next one saying, thanks for buying that, did you know you could now buy this instead, and move them from list to list. Okay, that's all of that. That's all done. It's click on top right. It's now active. Welcome test automation. Give it a name. Save. Email sequence, very important. Could be just one, could be more, depending on the scenario, what you're doing it for, all the rest of it. But the sequence and follow up is very important. More conversions come from following up than initial sales. So it's so easy to do, as you can see. There's no excuse for not having an email sequence set up, and you can do so much. You know, in addition to waiting 1 day, I can do other things as well. I can jump to different actions. I can do this if they've done something, if then else, you know, all sorts of. Select the condition, if, date and time, if, whatever, if. so much you can do with your sequence, and just play around with it and use test emails, because it's brilliant. It really is brilliant. Okay, so we've got our automation set up there. Welcome test email. Let's go back to here. Do a quick refresh. So we're back to here, and let's join. Okay, opt in. Boom, thank you, you are subscribed. So we know that will go onto the list. Let's just go back to Active Campaign. There's our list. We've now got 2 people on there, which are both my people. And that person who's just joined will now enter the automation. This one here. You can see here, look, 1 contact currently in automation, 1 has been sent. So you can start to see what's going on. There we go, look. Even that person sent the email is now in the queue. I can have a look and I should see myself in that queue for, there we go, for the next day. So in 1 day's time, I'll then get the next email and I'll get queued up to there as well. And in my inbox, there. Because it's a crap email, and because Gmail is so anti-spam, it's coming up with a warning. There we go. It's turned the link into that because when I click on it, it will get tracked. And I gave completely the wrong URL. Doesn't matter, wrong URL. That's why that's not working. So don't worry about that. But again, I can now go back to Active Campaign and I can see my stats. And I can see that people have clicked on the link. So I can really start to see what's happening in terms of the automation, what emails are working, what emails aren't working, and so on and so forth. There's so much to it that you can do in terms of all of the stats and so on. I'm just going to go to reports. I haven't got any set up yet. Doesn't matter. That's still being processed. I'm not going to waste time going through all of that. But it will start to track what's been going through. There we go. Recent activity. 1 click through, and then Active Campaign so picks all that up and all the rest of it. So yeah, you can really start to see what's happening and what's working. And in terms of split testing, you can do different things. You can see which emails are converting better and worse, and all that kind of stuff, which I just urge you to go in and play with it. And Active Campaigns, actually, I like it. I find it more friendly than MailChimp, just my personal opinion. I also use Sendinblue, which is much more techy, I find. If you're more of a technical bent, you might like Sendinblue. But Active Campaign is very popular, and I can see why, to be honest with you. Yeah, cool. So that's an email sequence. That's something I urge you to have a look at. So you're not just collecting emails, you're actually doing things with them as well. Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead and let me know how you get on.